Hey, how's it going there? Look, I don't really like to respond to innuendos, even if they're offers, because I feel like I'm admitting to everything, and this can be twisted radically if I sort of say, "Oh, I know what to do," because I would have done the right thing as a child. Okay, I wanted to live on the East Coast and around the Atlantic and such civilizations since I was quite young. I really did, and I am ready to fast track a lot of my inventions that the automotive industry and certainly the policy, computation, AI. It is really policy, okay. Um, that's what an algorithm is. The technology is essentially physical. If it's not, then it's a weapon. Okay, whether it's sublime or electronic or just pure information or a cliche that I know what to do. Okay, I don't, and I wish that I did, and that comes from experience only, and that's experience that's not Into the Wild is the example of someone in my ballpark, communications and communications technology. Into the Wild, the guy's father sets up remote radio stations to rescue people, actually, okay? Healthcare in a nutshell. Um, and I'm lost right there. But I can tell you that I will fast track the inventions. I've thought about these for years: the architecture, the sort of dimensions, indeed the policy, which is so sublime that it is AI's actual prayer, and it's something that I can do in private, but I cannot do with a smartphone. I can't do without notes, without a private study, so I can do multiple drafts, because that's exactly how I did it before. All the stuff that I'm writing, I would have written anyways without, you know, not without the input, okay? Not without the input. All right, so trust me. When I was 17, I witnessed Ronald Reagan's taxation plan, that was about, his own candy cop out, and George Washington versus Thomas Jefferson. In a sense, Ronald Reagan's biological son has a big sister like Thomas Jefferson, and in the case of him, he's sort of isolated. If your dad's the president, you're just surrounded by good things at all times. I'm pretty sure of that. And George Washington did not have that. He was, looking through the surveyor, saying, "Is there more land? Is there fur trades? What cliches of the frontier?" Okay, this is all I can tell you is that I am positively ready to fast track a lot of the technology, and I will develop it into miraculous environmental economies. That's how it all wraps around. If you say, there's like a crescent, a tangential crescent of awareness, a cusp. Oh boy, these things. And still recording. Something's going on here. Battery saver. Got it. Never mind. So, and I'm afraid of anything that's remotely dangerous. Okay, like having a online conversation. I witnessed the most radical stuff, even when I'm just thinking it or writing it down as a simple note, as though I could sort of bring that up and loft it, into no man's land. I would rather be in everyone's backyard, okay? And if I've mentioned everyone, by name, and Robin Williams at least has an immigrant father, and he doesn't actually grow up in California. He's like 15 when he moves there, and a lot of these people, they went to school for many years or had summer completely elsewhere from the Wild West. Potentially the divine cop out. Don't forget the Alamo is like Altamont or something like this. Some things is just so outrageous, and the pressures, okay, Like I try to sort of identify and say, hey, look, man, I know it will work. You guys contact me. And this is like English, the England people, the German people, the Italians, the the Spanish, not the French though. I hate them. This is what George Washington said. Remember? And then he was like, "Oh no! Now that the whole thing has flopped, well, it's lovely out here. You know, once you just turn the ship upside down, it's much nicer. It's, it's like, come on, everybody, let's yeah." That's George Washington on the once the main ship is literally sort of flipped on it upside. Maybe it's in shallow water, of course. So um, you know. But I have this surf boat design that is very much in line with, you've heard about flying cars. Okay, I'm telling you, the closest thing you would ever want to come to a flying car is a surf boat. So you would be able to go inside this sort of vehicle architecture thing, this highly dynamic, I visionary sort of, the poetry I do, it's more based on the architectural engineering, the structural functionality, sort of the sort of like Tron, sort of like the. Okay, I know what works. Okay, I know for instance that if I have a jacket, anyone can wear it. I can't wear anyone else's jacket though because it has to be my size. Otherwise, it would like. And um, that's in a sense the flying car is riding a wave. Okay, because several of them could do it at the same time. The cinematic presence of that alone would just be so cool. Okay, because this vehicle, this surf boat, is designed so that you will have zero salt exposure, and you'll be able to actually live out there and go on a honeymoon, and maybe have a bunch of these things. Some of them on autopilot, some of them just delivering breakfast or something like that. And they have the outriggers they could put it outside. You could like sleep on the outside. You could have extra sort of beds on the outside, or you could like reduce it down to that. Put the flotilla elsewhere and ride this thing on epic swells and catch waves and never. The thing is, it's actually designed so that when you're driving it, it has the roof is like vented, so you got this pulley fresh air in there, okay? And then as soon as it comes anywhere near to experiencing water, either rolling over or otherwise, and it's got like a sail on it, okay? So it's not just electric, and ideally it's going to be amphibious at a truly minimum feasibility rate of 15 miles an hour. You don't need insurance. It's not dangerous. You can outrun any pedestrian at 15 miles an hour in a couple of seconds, okay? So it would be as fast as the fastest car, because a pedestrian, if it's an arms race, technology race, no. If it's just a race against man, that's 15 miles an hour. That's what vehicles would travel at, and they would fly on the waves. There would literally be these boats, and they would literally be these hyper feasibly designed capsules where you would be isolated from the elements outside, such as the salt water. You would be able to, like if you've ever gone snorkeling, and if you go surfing and snorkeling at the same time, it's sometimes the best. I'm telling you, some places on the West Shore, somewhere where there's playful waves and there's often warm waters with lots of creatures, fish out there and stuff like that. It's beautiful. If you take your mask off, you realize your face is completely isolated from the salt. Obviously, your mouth is not, so you'd have to have a specialized snorkel. But this would be the same thing as our environmental climate control, or not environmental, but climate, like air conditioning, if you will, inside a spaceship that flies along the waves. I'm telling you, there would be nothing funner than this, especially if you literally didn't even have to know how to swim. Okay, you would obviously kind of want to be able to, but it would be designed completely to survive any sort of surfing incident, and also like anywhere, like as like an escape pod. So you could literally put these downtown if you've got like sort of problem people. Say, hey, why don't you chill out, relax? Give them some happy hour. They fall asleep, and you can then say, hey, yeah, you can live here, but you got to stay over here, and we want you to look out for us, okay? And you'll win every possible battle doing that alone. and I have to design completely quantified. I just don't want to have a public conversation because anything that I say is like worth, it's coming out like $1 billion fucking coins. Okay, you know how deranged that makes me feel every time there is a disaster. I go, well, I could have used that money and I would have done this. I'm telling you, I have it quantified in private. And again, the British, the Germans, the English, the Hanseatic League, something like that, the Roman League sort of thing. I fit the part. I love that stuff to design and to perfect our world and do that in private. And that's why the only reason I'm here now is because I don't know how to communicate. Thomas Jefferson didn't have to write any scandalous letters. Okay, he just automatically declared, I am going to go to the party in Paris and I'm not going to war. He declared that in effect through his childhood of having an American mother, big sister. Billy Joel's happy, lovely guy, same sort of glow and attraction, like you're seeing this guy, okay, this guy knows what to do, you can see. And it's half luck, the Billy Joel's English mom is probably like Thomas Jefferson's English mom, something like that. And Bobby Fischer doesn't get that break, okay? This is for sure as well. This is sort of capitalism, communism, sort of, it's socialism, it's the kosher socialism or something like that. But it shows you completely what's going on. And I have quantified the vehicle of the future that truly the top AI companies, all Apple and every of their friends and their associates and our ilk, okay, to actually design in private. I just can't respond, but my family, okay, please. I wish my family would say, do a little video and say, yeah, well, look, we've signed this lifetime contract. We'll come over and visit Brennan anytime you're having troubles. And they're like, all right, you guys can live down the street. And I'm like, yes. And I will get it right for sure and make everyone extremely happy. Okay.